Alrighty, so daily recap starting with GU. What happened at GU? So I was still expecting price to potentially continue to downside, mitigate that demand. It doesn't have any inducement, so I'm still expecting that demand to potentially fail. This demand would be most likely for me to push price higher rather than this one. We're bullish. This demand is in EQ, H4 swing. Although internal, although we mitigated EQ of internal, but if price want to continue higher, I need price to mitigate the range EQ. So I'm waiting for price to potentially push lower into that demand. So looking at price there, I was bearish for the day. M15 price was bullish, swing is bullish, internal is bearish, wanted to follow internal. Price swept liquidity, and we left this this extreme supply there. So coming into today, price just swept or gave us a shock yesterday and then pushed higher. Used that as inducement. Once price gave us an LC2A there, I got my entry. There, stops below the high, and I targeted 1 to 3. That was a very, very beautiful entry. Unfortunately, price stopped us out and pushed higher. So at that moment, we didn't have any more unmitigated level. So the only solution was to sweep the highs and push lower, right? So we swept the highs, gave us a choke. At that moment, I had this unmitigated supply that for me was the only one valid, because this one is mitigated, right? That one is mitigated. So I would say in case you'll take the whole range, then, or the extreme supply, fractal supply, then that would be valid. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, so what happened is that we got an LC2A there again. That's the chalk, that's the liquidation, and my entry was there, right there. Stop loss above the highs, right? And yeah, we got stopped out again. Price gave us another LC2A from this demand, from this supply right there. This LC2A there. That's a chalk and that's a liquidation, right? But I didn't want to take it because, well, first of all, I took 2 trades, right? So I didn't want to take the third one. I want to keep it 2 per each day, and I just didn't like how today we didn't respect much of the unmitigated supplies, so I just didn't take it, to be fair. But it was a good trade. It was a good trade. Price just pushed lower then and broke the internal weak low. So coming into today, what do we have? So we swept LQ there. And this one would be our strong internal high. So that's our internal high. Left us with one unmitigated extreme there. That's swept liquidity. Right, doesn't have clean inducement. I mean, the inducement is there, but it's a bit far away from what I would like to see. That's the liquidity inducement. That's our internal low. But just to keep in mind, we mitigated one of the demands. So although I'm still expecting price to potentially push lower, but we could see some reaction from here and we could see a push to the upside from here. So we mitigated that demand, right? And we had the choke just right there and another choke right there. So that's our choke. So we started the pullback. Now looking here, we have another supply there, right? But so this one doesn't have inducement, so I'm not trusting that supply. No LQ. And that one has inducement. It's a bit far away from price, but it's still inducement, so I will still count it as inducement there. And we swept liquidity as well, so that's the extreme. So looking at tomorrow, what we can expect for tomorrow? We can expect, to be fair, a price to continue lower, although we could see some push to the upside from here. Um, but to be fair, I'm not expecting any push to the upside because this demand, for me, doesn't have any inducement, so I'm not looking for any buys from this demand. Um, our extreme, we still have our extreme fractal supply here, but it's mitigated, so let's just keep that in mind. And the chalk line would be that one for today. So let's see what price will do. That would be our swing high for now. Is it? Yeah, I would call that our swing high. 8-4 swing high. And yeah, let's see what price will do. Looking to potentially continue the short into deeper demands, potentially into the EQ. So I'm still bearish. Um, and yeah, that's basically what happened on GU. Let's see now on EU. So unfortunately, it's still unfortunate that I didn't get any part of this whole trend, although um, I expected and predicted everything to happen, and it exactly happened like I expected. But that's fine. What I liked is that I didn't break my rules, didn't take a lot of trades too, and that's it. So that was good. All right, what happened on EU? Same thing. Was expecting again. Was expecting price to push lower into that demand and potentially sweep it or anything like that, and that's what happened. So we we pushed lower, right? We had that shock, but I knew that that shock didn't mean anything because it was just an eye shock, and price could continue bearish on the M15. Price was bearish. That was the range. Coming into session, we swept that low and pushed higher. I knew that price would potentially respect that extreme supply that has inducement and then push lower. And that's exactly what happened. We mitigated that supply, right? Um, and we had an LC2A just right there. So that's liquidation. And that's a chalk right there. And your entry would be somewhere around there. So because this entry is far too big for me, I didn't take the trade. And if you add to that my target would be just to get 1 to 3 would be somewhere around there. I wasn't sure if price would even break that internal low, right, or push further uh, past that internal low. Also, I already took my trade, so I was fine with just skipping that one. But what happened next is that we got a chalk there, M15 chalk, right? We left an unmitigated supply right there, and yeah, price gave us another LC2A there. So that was our fake break, our chalk. Uh, there, and our fake break or liquidation was there. My entry would have been here, but again, too far away for me. I mean, this is a big uh, this is a big uh, entry, and my target would be far away from that demand that I was expecting price to come to. And you never know if that demand held, then we'll be, we would be waiting, or we would be uh, our target would not be hit. So what can we expect for potentially tomorrow? I'm still expecting price to push lower. So now we have that as our internal high. We had that break there. Um, so that was our IBOS. We mitigated that demand beautifully. Everything that I expected happened. Everything that I predicted happened. So that's good to know. We have that supply there. That swap liquidity. So we have that unmitigated supply. I would even call it an extreme, just because we our extreme supply is already mitigated. We have a bit of inducement in front of it that I like, just right there. We have also this supply, but it's been mitigated, so nothing here to worry about. That's our internal low. It's the weak internal low there. Right, and we were expecting price to push lower. So we have no demand that can push price higher. We have that, the only one that could push price higher would be that one. So that would be our target for tomorrow, potentially breaking the swing low and push lower. If for instance this kind of supply would not hold and that truck will not take place, we could still see a momentum shift to the upside. But I would not assume that looking at all the liquidity that we have or that we built here after we got that truck. I would mostly call it a liquidation on the daily because we just swept that high and pushed lower. So we could see a push to the downside from that level. And we got a choke on the H4 as well. So let me just throw my H4 supply right there. And yeah. So looking to take price potentially to the downside for tomorrow. We'll see what will happen. But yeah. So unfortunate for today. 2 losses. Could be better, could be worse. That's fine. I respected my rules, so that's a win. That's a win to me. And yeah, let's see if tomorrow we'll get a beautiful trade and a win.